Hello everyone, this is Meganadha once again. So welcome to lecture 5 and the title is Format Specifiers. So these are the format specifiers that we use in printf and scanf. So if you want to print integers, we use %ld in printf. For printing float, we use %f. And in scanf, for reading data, similarly we use %ld for integers, %f for float, and %u for unsigned int. Like we have different format specifiers that we use for different types of data. So in this module we will see what are the different format specifiers that we have so that we can use the respective format specifiers while printing and reading values from the user. So let's get started. Now we already seen some examples. So now for integer we use %ld, for float we use %lf, for char we use %lc. Now let's have a look at all other data types. So let me open an image that I have taken. So you can see here for char data type you can use %lc, for integer we use %ld, for float we use %lf, for double we use %lf, and for long int we use %ld. And for string, which is called character array, in C language we don't have the concept of string, but we use character array of characters, so that we'll use %s for that. And for unsigned int we use %u. So let's try to understand more on this, right? So let's take, for example, I have a requirement to store distance between two planets. So let's assume that I'm working for a company called NASA. So let's just assume that it's a space research organization. So I want to store distance between two planets. So obviously I don't need to store negative number. So definitely the distance will be positive. So I don't have to go for integer. I don't have to go for long. I definitely need to go for unsigned int or even unsigned long, depending on the value that I want to store. Now, if I want to store unsigned int, so I'll be using %u to read the data, and for printing it we'll be using %lu. So let's try to understand this, and as usual let's go to code blocks, and we'll write a simple C program to read an unsigned value and print it. Now unsigned int value and print it. So as usual, click on first empty file, and let me increase the font size, and I'll write here include. So I'll save it. Let's click on save. And this is a fourth module, so I'll type here this is a fifth module, right? Phi.unsigned int example, save. I'll write here include stdio.h and include conio.h void main, and then I'll write unsigned int and distance is equal to distance. I just declared it. Remember, as usual, I told you already to write this in every program that you write. Make a habit of writing this comments. So the two things that I told you to write in this comments is author and purpose, and just write like this. So what is the purpose of this? To read the distance value from the user and print it. So author, my name, and purpose to read distance, which is unsigned int, and print it. Okay, now what we are doing here, I just declared as unsigned int distance. Now we know that first we need to ask user to enter the value. So printf enter the distance between two planets, and then now what we need to store it in a variable called distance. So distance, so we have to use scanf. So printf, spelling mistake, so printf. Now scanf, we have to write, remember for unsigned int the format specifier is %u, so you have to write here %u and comma ampersand distance. Now we want to print it, so printf, you have entered %u, and in this place you want to print distance. And please make sure that in printf you don't use %l. Only in scanf you have to use %l. I repeat, only in scanf you have to use ampersand, only in scanf you have to use ampersand. In printf we don't use ampersand, we just write the variable. Okay, so now as usual get ch in case if you want. Now let's save it and build it, and we are done. So let's run the code. So you can see the distance between two planets. I'm entering a large value. I'm entering some large value. Let's see if it works. I'm getting the value. Now, so what we learned now is we learned how to use format specifier for unsigned int, and definitely unsigned int, as the name suggests, it will not store negative numbers. So if I execute this code, if I enter some negative values of -20 etc., I don't get the output. So I'm not getting, because unsigned int will not store negative numbers. We'll only store positive numbers. And the format specifier for unsigned int is %u. Let's have a look at format specifier once again. Now you can see here the format specifier for char data type is %c, for integer %d, for float %f, for double %llf, for long int %ld, for string. So we'll see an example for string now, and for unsigned int it is %u we just saw now. Now as usual I'll save this example of 5 in GitHub. So let's go back so that you can download it. So let's go to browser, open GitHub, and click on this upload files. And let me upload the file that I want is in my D drive, my C programs, and the program that I need is unsigned example, and it got uploaded and commit changes. So how you can get that? So I just showed you already. If you want to get it, all you have to do is, this is the URL that you need to type to download the file and to review it. Now what we'll do is we'll see how to declare a string and how to read it, right? So now I'll create a new file 5a. So what I'll do now is click on new file, empty file, and as usual I'll save it. And this again 5th module, we are doing second program in 5th module 5a, and read name and print it. Read name and print it. So now what we'll do as usual, so include, so let's type it, include stdio.h and include conio.h, and as usual I told you to write this, I just informed you. So what are the two things we write? So author and purpose. So in every program that you're going to write from now, make sure that you have a habit of writing these two things. Then what we need, so I'll be writing here author, I'll write here Meganadha, and I'm just mentioning my email address in case if you have any feedback or any concerns, any suggestions, feel free to write to me. And purpose, to read name from user and print it. Now let's see how to do that. So now void main. Now name is not a single character. So name is a sequence of characters. So name is a series of characters. So this is how we declare it. Char of name of, let's take for example up to 30 characters. It could be up to 30 characters. So this is how we declare an array in C language, and this is a sequence of 30 characters. There's a sequence of up to 30 characters. So this is called a character array, and we'll see arrays concept later, but this is how we declare a character array. Now what we need to do now, we need to read name from the user and print it. So now I'll write here. So I'll write here printf, enter your name and scanf. Now remember, what's the format specifier for a string? For a string, the format specifier we have seen here is %s. %s is the format specifier for string. So we'll use here %yes, comma, ampersand name. So we are done. So I'll write here printf, your name is hi, or we'll write like this, hi, %ls, welcome to C programming, and comma, in place of %s I want to print name, and I'm just writing it, and get ch. So that's it, we are done. So we just declared a character array, and we're reading the value from the user, and %s for format specifier for string, and we are printing it. Okay. Now what we'll do is let's save this as usual and let's build this code and let's run the code. So I'm writing here, enter your name. So I'm writing my name. I'm writing my name and it's saying, hi Meganadha, welcome to C program. So what did we notice here? That it's not reading after space. So after space it's not reading it, it's only considering up to the space. It's considering the second variable as not considering it, right? So it's considering as the next input. So we'll see that later, how to read a string with space. So for now, what we learned is we learned how to read a string from the user. So I'm writing here Meganadha, and you can see here, hi Meganadha, welcome to C programming, right? So in this module, we learned the different format specifiers for different data types that we use in printf and scanf. And we have seen how to read a name from the user and how to print it. And we also seen how to declare an unsigned integer and how to print that. Okay. So in the next module, we will see the different operators that we have in C language. So you can see here. So I just added this here. Operators in C language is very important. So in the next module, we'll see what are the different operators that we have. And that's all for now. Thank you. And as usual, so before we sign off, I'll upload this file that we just used it. So let's go back and let me upload this file. So let's save it and go to Google Chrome browser and click on upload file. And the file that I need to upload now is the 5a file. So let's upload that 5a, read name and print it. Just got uploaded, commit changes. So as usual, you can download this. You can download the file using this URL and review it. So thanks for watching. See you in the next module. Have a great day.